we're working on the 75, and in today's episode, we are installing a brake upgrade kit from Bendix. Next week, we're gonna get the roadworthy, so this is a must. Now, the 75, it's got a 2-inch lift, so with this, we've got extended brake lines that we're gonna put on, we've got new rotors that we're putting in, and we're also putting in new brake pads. They also supply things like all the grease and everything that you need, but we'll show you that later on. For now, let's get this kit open, let's take the wheel off, and let's start fixing the 75.
Alright, this is our Bendix upgrade kit. Comes in a really neat looking ice box. So let's see what we've got inside. Got our extendable brake hoses, heavy duty .3 brake fluid, more hoses. Okay, we've got our rotors. Oh, look at that. Oh,
They look good.
Magic. They are going to be unbelievable. Some more hoses. We've got our Bendix brake pads, like that. 4-wheel drive ultimate, it says. Going to stop on a dime. Got some lubricating, some cleanup. We got some grease. We are set. Josh has just taken the wheel off. Have a look at these rotors. I have never seen rotors worn like that. This is unbelievable. This guy that we bought it off was still driving this vehicle on these rotors. That is terrible. If ever you have rotors like that or your brakes just stop working, get them looked at by a professional, because that is so dangerous.
We should let you know as well that this is definitely not a how-to guide, because, well, this may or may not be the first time that we're also doing it. So they've got little cones now that we've got to give it a bit of a tap, and then the cone will come off. Let's see if it works, eh? Oh, it's working.
Okay, we need.
That one should just pop out. Yeah. One thing that's key, especially if you haven't done something before and you're not sure where everything goes, is just make sure that as you take it off that you lay it out. So that's exactly what Dad and I are doing. We've got everything first that we've taken out, all the layers, just so when we're putting it back together, we can remember and we don't forget. Just need to take the brake pad off and then it should be able to slide on out. I reckon 17 mil, just a guess.
Oh, good guess.
I may have tried it before. Good to have Rod back helping. He always pops in for about 15 minutes every Saturday. Okay, so we got the rotors out. Now what we've got to do is get the wheel nuts, so separate basically the hub from the rotor. So we're getting an old nut, putting that onto the thread, and then we'll hammer that down to make sure that we don't damage that thread, and using an old nut as well, because obviously we're definitely damaging the top of the nut. So let's do that, and then we can get the new rotors put back on the 75.
You know that it's seated well. Okay, we're greasing the bearings. The idea is to get as much as that grease inside your bearings, and I'm just pushing it down the front and the back first before I put it in the palm of my hand, and then I'm going to force the grease in even more. So don't go sparingly on your grease. You want to pack nicely so your bearings spin.
So we talked about how bad the old rotors were. Literally just in hitting that, the ring of absolute death has come off. So, you know, you go on the highway and apply those brakes, you are cooked. Whilst we've been doing the brakes, we've got Rod helping us out doing some wiring on the canopy. Rod, give us the update.
Yeah, only a couple of hours yet.
He was here just for a 15-minute drop-in and he's already been here nearly for 2 hours. Quality time with me, Dad and Tommy D. Just what he's after. We've got our new rotors right here. Fantastic, we're going to put them on now. Oh, you're kidding.
Not the right rotors.
Alrighty, so just when we thought we'd put the rotor on, unfortunately the ones that came in the Bendix kit aren't the right stud pattern. So what we've got here, this one here, this has 5, whereas obviously the 75 series LandCruiser has 6. Now what that means is for us, unfortunately, because I tried going to a few other places that sold, you know, the Bendix one so I could swap it over, but I couldn't get any, so I'm gonna have to send these back. Now we will eventually put some Bendix ones on because we're obviously doing everything else Bendix with the brake pads and the upgraded brake lines. Couldn't get these rotors in time, so for today, because we need this car back moving and we need to obviously brake, I've just gone to get Repco. We've got kind of their cheapest ones. We're going to put them on.
2 hours later.
Well, there we go. That's what we wanted. This one here has 6 studs, so that'll fit us quite nicely.
We got a new caliper. On our old caliper, 2 of the pistons were actually seized up, so they weren't working. Couldn't free them, so we had to go and buy a brand new one. I'm fitting that now.
I'll tell you what, there's a whole lot of new over this side. New calipers, new brakes, new brake calipers, new rotors, new attitude. It's been a long day in the shed. Unfortunately, a couple of wrong parts. We had to go back to Repco because we didn't have the right brake pads, which just means chewed up heaps more time, which is unfortunate, but it's just part of the things of doing up a car.
24 hours later.
Alrighty, well, we're back again. So it's the next day, and we've come to finish off this old thing, the 75. I mean, finish off by the brakes upgrade. So where we got to yesterday, the brake caliper on the front left-hand side actually turned out to be bent, which was very annoying. Pretty much ran around trying to source a new one. Couldn't get one until today. So here we go. Thank you, Repco, came in clutch. So let's fit up this, bleed the brakes, and then we can be back to driving on a Sunday afternoon. Fingers crossed it doesn't take too long.
Helps when your caliper's not bent.
And now we know that both the left and the right front have new calipers, so we're all good.
Went to a brake shop and they made up some little brake lines for me. Trouble was with the old ones, they were a bit corroded, and so as soon as we did the nut off, turned the nut, it started twisting the brake line and twisted it. So we got 2 made up.
They actually weren't that expensive either. How much did you say they were?
About $20.
$20 per side or for both?
No, I think it was per side.
20 per side, so 40, which is pretty good really.
just doing the brakes, just bleeding them. So I get the fun job of sitting in the car and pumping it whilst Dad's underneath, nipping it up, getting all the air out.
That's the end of the episode. We got the brakes on, we got the rotors, ended up getting new brake calipers as well. So, look, was it a frustrating episode of the 75?
Oh, my word, it was. Goodness me.
The most. I think it's actually probably been the most frustrating of work that we've done on the car so far.
At the end of the day, brakes are done. It'll stop on a dime. Well, it is a 75 series, so, you know.
It'll stop within a kilometre of when you apply the brakes. I'm sure that the next episode, we're going to make a lot more progress of the 75 build. Remember, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate the support. See you next time.